Hello everyone, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Ultimate General Civil War, and we're returning to our Confederate Let's Play campaign. We're in part 63 of that campaign, and we are closing in rapidly on the conclusion of this series. We took Washington over a series of 3 episodes before the very last one, and in our last episode we began the defense of Washington. The Union has marshaled a massive army of about 100,000 men, and they're attempting to counterattack their own capital, trying to cut off and destroy the Confederate Army, which currently possesses their capital. If we are able to hold Washington, we will bring this long and bloody struggle to a conclusion with a victory for the Confederacy. With that being said, this is part 2 of the defense of Washington, part 4 of the actual, or part 5 of the actual battle for Washington. And we're now moving back to the capital, sort of the city area itself. In the last video, we were defending the forts to the north. Now the Union is trying to flank our position to the north and attack the city directly. We'll see how we're able to hold on. This video will examine that defense of the city, and we'll see where we end up here in about 30 minutes or so. Now, this was taken from a live stream. The last, pretty much this whole series has largely been taken from live streams that I conducted both on YouTube and Twitch. So the audio that you'll hear from here on out is from that live stream. But without further ado, I'll go ahead and step out, turn it back over to myself from the live stream from a couple of weeks ago, and I hope you guys can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay. Yeah, it turns out a couple thousand men shooting at artillery from point blank range is devastating. Yeah, who would have guessed? All right, so we need to secure Fort Washington on our left flank. And what's the other fort over here on the right? Fort Thomas. Okay. So it doesn't look like we get a period where we can assign troops. Get you up there on the double. Crocker, Ailes, you get over here on the double. Edwards. Oak. Artillery will get in there as well. If we need 2 guns over there or not, but we'll assign 2 guns here. Meanwhile, on the other flank, let's get these guys. The one thing I'm not sure about, on this flank, the challenge is these forts kind of suck. And the reason these forts on the far left suck is, one, they're a little ways away from us. Assuming the enemy's on the map at all at the moment, it's going to be hard to get to any of these forts before they do. The other thing is there's woods that lead right up to the fort, giving any attacking force incredibly strong cover. So I think I'm going to avoid the woods themselves and just put my troops in the fort. So, for example, we'll have Kite, we'll have Anderson. We'll put Anderson in the woods here. He's a really strong brigade. Put Race in that fort. And we'll put whoever that is there. We'll put another guy in the fort's flank. We'll have one of these other guys go here. I'm going to try and selectively use these wood lines. Now, the guys over here on the far left, that's okay to put them in the fort because that's a pretty strong fort here. There's an open ground, a good killing ground in front of it. Go get this artillery here as well. Maybe we can get the artillery in the fort itself. Guys, get there, that artillery up there. I'm not sure if we issued orders to everybody or not. Look like it. I don't know why I'm hearing a melee sound. I think everybody has their orders. Oh, one more brigade over here. Just didn't get orders. We'll have them go here as kind of a reserve. Alright, so the men are on their way. Stockton's already in position in this fort. Mygoot will be in reserve. Hobson will go up here in the fort. Burnham will be on Mygoot's flank to the right. And then we're going to try and selectively use the terrain that is good cover where it makes sense. Again, the challenge here is these forts just are terribly exposed because they're right up against wood lines, presumably where the enemy will attack from. looks like we left one battery back here. We'll leave them up. Factory of Sadness, thank you for the follow. All right, let's move Lee up to provide some morale support and bring some supply wagons out. Everybody move on the double. On the double, boys. All right, those guys are getting into position. The nice thing is these two forts kind of enfilade any troops that try and attack the fort directly on. These two fort positions are kind of redundant because they're not facing the enemy, so unless the enemy gets in behind us, I think we're somewhat safe. You can see here the Yankees already are in the wood line right along that fort area, so I think it was a good decision not to deploy there. We'll go ahead and move these guys forward and a little bit further forward into the woods. Other guys up on the double. I think we can probably fit 2 brigades in this wood line. Especially since one's a smaller brigade. So we'll move 2 brigades in this wood line. We'll actually move, what are these, 18, 20-pound rifles? I'd like those. King's Battery will go in the rear of this wood line. What are those, 15, 12-pound Napoleons? So those will be good for close range work. You'll just kind of stick around here when you're 72 cover. Hayes. I don't really want you in the open, but we'll move you in the open over here, just so we've got more of a cohesive line. Mygoot, you'll stay in reserve. There you go. We'll see how this all pans out. Mygoot can shift south if Stockton is under threat, or north. It looks like a lot of the enemy brigades, or at least initially what we can see here, is showing up in that section. Don't see any enemy troops attacking these guys over here yet. Move him over here into this wood line behind the... Actually, let's just move him into the fort. Give him some good cover, let him rest and relax. Okay. Anderson's got 72 cover. Wolford has 60 cover. Presumably anyone who comes in range will have no cover. The east, defend the trenches. All right, so Gilmore's corps or division or whatever it is coming in. Our troops are already in position, so that's good. I think we're in pretty good shape. I don't know what he is over here. You can see the map says that we have 26,000 soldiers. The Federals have 35,000, so they do outnumber us in this field. They only have 114 guns, though, so yes, they outnumber us there 2-1, but it's not quite as big of a discrepancy as it was on the first map. You can see here we need to hold for 3 hours. We're under attack from the east. Defend the trenches. So you've got several enemy brigades coming in here with some artillery. Meanwhile, on the other flank, one of them is in good cover, I think. Mygoot fort a little bit. The fort itself has ammunition, so everybody is in full supply there. Another enemy corps was spotted over here on the right. The enemy is not actually getting stronger. We're just detecting these forces. You can see they are advancing south. I think this is going to be probably more men than we can deal with easily. So we're going to go ahead and bring Hayes. We'll bring Adams over here to kind of hopefully catch their flank a bit. So Eli's brigade just got hit by Anderson a little bit on the flank. Some of these troops are exhausted. I don't know why Adams is so tired. I mean, I don't think I ran him into position. Could be wrong. Anderson getting some good volleys there. Burnham is definitely too weak to stop anything of note his front. We'll have to move Hayes up to support him. He's in Mygoot. Again, these fights over here, not thrilled that they're largely going to be in the open. I'm not sure there's much I can do about it. At least Anderson's engaging from cover. Hopefully we can push Eli back here, and then I can bring Adams in. Hayes and Mygoot all to hit their line in the flank and just kind of focus on one brigade and work our way across. The Hartwood's going to have to shift his front. That'll expose his flank a bit to my Goot. He just hit Adams with a pretty effective volley there, but we've already hit him with 2 or 3. Stop these men on the double. Adams going to charge. Provide his flank to my Goot as he charges Hayes. Blank volley there. Melee. Oh, good lord. It's a charge across the whole front. Good God. I don't have enough reserves for this. Bring Race in around. He'll abandon that part of the fort. And the wall he's facing doesn't have any enemy troops to his front. Where are you, Lee? Come over here. Bring Anderson forward. Wolford forward. We'll try and turn him. Doesn't look like any troops to our front, so we'll pull Stockton back. Looks like they're trying to come in here in the back hinge, really. Oh, this is stand-up open field fighting. Not at all what I want. Fortunately, their brigades are relatively small as I shift some 3,000 troops reserve over here. Burnham is going to get overwhelmed here very shortly. Stockton's hanging in there, but his flank is somewhat secure. Well, not secure, but it's hanging in there, but he's in good defensive works. It's 3,000 troops down. My Goot's going. Just Burnham. Alright. Form a new line back here. I don't want to... Challenge here is the enemy's going to have good cover now. Stack up against that artillery, then maybe we can shift more of our troops south. How's the eastern flank going? Eastern flank looks fine. All of our troops are pretty much dug in. Gives us an advantage. How's Kirk doing? He's the most heavily engaged by the looks of it. 90 morale, 90 morale. 7 morale. Alright, those guys look okay. While Burnham's hanging in there, Race, you bring your brigade. Try and route Jenkins further. Can you get into cover here, Race? You're going to take a tough volley there. Stockton, come over here, support his... Alright, it looks like we did demolish one of those batteries, by the looks of it. Didn't really want him relaying. Enemies attacking Stockton as well. He's in good cover, but... Alright, there you go. Go volley Shaw. Go melee Shaw while you can. My Goot should have recovered a bit. Just hold your position. Shaw's routed. That'll be... Back these guns. One of the, I think it's My Goot's brigade. No, not My Goot. One of our other brigades is dead. God damn. How are we doing on the right here? Ah, Crocker's broken. He's pushed out of his position. You guys aren't doing anything over here. He's over. They're just going to go up and over and flank Scales. Not great, but there's no objective over there, so it's not the end of the world. Got a new reserve by pulling Howe back. Race, you're in range of Lee. Your morale should be going up. It is, slowly. Locked in. There. Wait, do I have 2 Stocktons? I do. Nice. Brigades come down on the flank. Got 2 brigades still in the fort. Pull one of them. We'll just leave one there. We're leaving a skeleton force over there. Threaten his flank. You're gonna advance here. Edwards advance to threaten their flank. It looks like Scales is hanging in there. Despite the fact that he's, you know... Volley! Nice little volley there right before Crocker and Sharp's brigades. Engaged. Edwards can come in here to try and hit the enemy in the flank as they go after Scales. Oak's going to kind of swing around that way too. Going to advance these guys down the flank. Whoa, 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 whoa. You don't need to be running. Save your strength, boys. Alright. So we've kind of got these guys in an interesting little vice. Yeah, my goods brigade just was routed. Hartwood's going to get 3 volleys here, I think. Yeah, we're still hanging in there. We got about an hour 40 left in this phase. As the evening approaches, enemy's flank is caving in. Come on, destroy Benham there. One more volley gets him, Anderson. Get him. There you go. Benham's brigade's gone. Double quicking. I know I'm the one ordering you to double quick in the first place, so it's my own fault. But... Alright. Jenkins. Trying to get as many of these guys routed off the field as possible. So it sweep the front. Oh, Crocker can kind of hit him in the flank. Maybe retake his old position even. His morale's pretty low. He probably won't. So is there though. Theirs though. That's the good thing. Okay. Got him caught in a vice. Wooford's gonna rout. Sure. Alright. Clay's gone. Pearson's back. Alright. Tibble's artillery was almost destroyed on that volley by Anderson. Really hoping they don't have a whole bunch of additional reserves coming. I'm not really sure what the next phase looks like. Draper's brigade's being thrown back. Wow. Brigade's almost destroyed. Would assume another volley will finish off Hartwood. They have a couple volleys in on Swift. Man, Hartwood hung in there. Alright, there he goes. Routing Hartwood for good. Airmen also routing. Bring our supply wagon in a little bit more. Stockton is still in those forts. Bring Lee over here, though he's low on ammo. I don't know how much longer he can hold out just by himself over there on that far end of the line. And Swofford, Race, Anderson down the line. Let's keep driving these guys back. Come on. Tybalt's battery was just destroyed. Very nice. I don't know if these are desperation charges by the Federals, but gonna have that effect. Airman's charging. How can you be blocked? He's in melee. Airman's brigade is dead. Another Federal brigade routed from this flank. They've still got a bunch of men in blue. Stockton is just barely hanging in there. They don't have a way to bring their brigades effectively into the battle because they're too grouped together. So it's kind of, we're hitting one brigade, knocking it back on its supports, and then we're hitting the next brigade. Race, stop being under the... Just fire a damn volley into the guys. Let's get as many of these guys routed from the field as we can. Crocker is... Alright, he drove them back. Nice. We're going to fall back, Edwards. I just want you to get back in position here. And for you, Hoke. You were just really there to buy Crocker some time, so why don't you move your brigade north? And take that position if you need to. Meanwhile, this is where the real fighting's going here, as we try and destroy more and more Federal brigades. Robinson's brigade's being driven back. Anderson's flanked. Some cavalry by the looks of it. Shift Hayes around here. Let's bring this ammo wagon up. I need Stockton to have a reserve if he gets overwhelmed. It's important that he stay in his position because he's really preventing the enemy from being able to easily turn and face us. Jenkins is gone. Nice. Thomas is almost gone. One more volley and I think Thomas's brigade's gone. There he goes. Another brigade routed from the field. Okay. Bring the wagons forward. Next target is Macy. It's 200 men. Swift is a bit more. Alright, where are we at manpower-wise? 1,400 men for them, or 14,000 men for them left. We're down to about 20,000. It's melting away. He should be next. Maybe Macy. Macy's there too. Doubleday's also not in great shape. There goes Macy. And there goes Swift. Very good. Very good, man. Keep up the pressure. Keep up the pressure. Pour it on, boys. The Western attack. I don't know what the hardest... I've only played this battle once or twice. There goes Doubleday. So I'm not really sure I'm qualified to say what's the hardest attack to deal with. I always thought the attack... My one experience playing before was that Derussy was the hardest. Not Derussy. Yeah, Derussy. That kind of exposed fort. I guess that is on the western side, but it's sort of the central attack that you're dealing with. Come on, finish off Wild. Hit him good. Bang him forward. Wow. Wild's boys are hanging in there. Alright, there they go. Alright, just pulling out the artillery. We're driving these guys toward the edge of the map. Only about 30 minutes left in this phase, assuming we stick to timeline. Harper, Matthews. Crocker fall back. Oak take his position. Alright, why don't you take this other trench? It's a little bit, I think, more interestingly positioned. Yeah, the one other time I played this battle, I lost it. Granted, I don't know if I got all the way to the end or not, but I lost it because I lost DeRussi, which is that far top left fort in the previous phase of the battle. Alright, let's get what we can here. Anderson's into their rear now. You can see these mobs of blue routing off the field. There goes another one of their artillery batteries. Now behind what's left of their right wing. Okay. Pushing them to the corner of the map. Come on, destroy Woodward. About him. Men, nearly point-blank range. Granted, the enemy's in good cover. Come on, Woodward, go away! Burton just took a nice volley there. Woodward is gone. Nice. There you go. One more brigade. Where are these guys going? They gonna run for Washington? They're just routing. In the event, let's get Stockton back there just to prevent any leakers from accidentally taking the capital, even if only temporarily. Get one more brigade back there too. Alright. That brigade, another brigade was just routed. Very nice. Brigade. You should be routed too with that volley. Just about. Come on, Draper, die. Alright, so far so good here, I think, on the far right. This fort. I'd be tempted to try and go after these artillery pieces the way I did on the last battlefield, but the problem is they're mostly in wooded terrain, which is going to make them more difficult. I'm assuming there were some Federals that moved over this way. All right, everybody, that's going to do it here for this episode of Ultimate General Civil War. We're hanging on in the south, and now we appear to be moving back to the northern portion of the defense of Washington. Rather than one big overarching battle, it's kind of one of those Ultimate General battles that's broken into multiple phases, into multiple sectors, as we figured out here 6 parts into the actual Battle of Washington itself. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and step out, and our next video will look at the Battle of Washington as it shifts back to the northern front, back to Fort DeRussi, Fort Stevens, and what seems to me the majority of the Union forces attacking up there. We have to hold those forts if we have any hope to hold the city itself. but that we will deal with in our next episode. As always, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and continue to enjoy this series as we close in on its conclusion. But until next time, guys, it's the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.